if we talk about boys and girls, can we talk about children? Ladies and gentlemen, people gathered here today. How can we just take those assumptions of gender and sexuality away from what we do? And then I wanted to just talk briefly about pronouns, because I know I really heard what Alistair was saying at the beginning, and we see this a lot in Pride Outside. We do lots of diversity training. People are really scared to get it wrong. And I think pronouns can be one of the areas where people find it difficult. It can be a bit confusing. There can be this real fear of getting it wrong. So I just kind of wanted to break it down a little bit. So pronouns are the language that we use to talk about ourselves or other people instead of using their name. So we might say, Alistair, he said this earlier, for example. And so the most common pronouns are, she, her, and he, him. So for example, I use they, them pronouns. That's because I identify as non-binary and as a trans person. And so I don't identify as male or female. And so both he, him, and she, her don't feel right to me. So that's why I use they, them. And I think the key thing here is just checking in with people. What are their pronouns? What do they use? And then practicing it. And one of the things that I've found really helpful for people in using they, them pronouns is noticing where we gender things. So we might see a dog and we might say, he's doing this, but we might not know what the gender of that dog is. So actually using they, them when we talk about dogs or trees or inanimate objects can just help us get used to that language. And yeah, I think pronouns are really important. It can feel like a really small thing. It's just the word we use to describe people. But actually, if you can imagine somebody using the wrong pronoun for you, people probably use your pronouns 50 to 100 times a day, and somebody getting that wrong 80 or 90% of the time, that then feels really difficult and really uncomfortable. And I think one of the stats that I find really helpful, and I don't want to bombard you with stats, is that there was some research done in the Journal of Adolescent Health. And for young people, there was a 29% decrease, so almost a 30% decrease in suicidal thoughts when young people experience their name or gender or correct gender being used in just one part of their lives. So it doesn't have to be everywhere that people get it right, but a 30% reduction in suicidal thoughts when we get it right in one place.